Hey, welcome to We Create Edu. We're back, and this is our first Monday of the year that we're going to be talking with you guys. We're going to talk about NerdCon, some creative goals, and the future of We Create Edu. I am Jacqueline, and I also run a different channel called SciJoy, which is like a hands-on participatory science channel. And with me, I have Chelsea.
Hi everyone, I'm Chelsea. I have a channel called Practical Poppins, which is a nannying slash parenting channel. Yeah, I'm a nanny in real life, and that is why I do this channel. And I will pass it off to Sarah.
Hello everyone, my name is Sarah. I have a channel called Developmental Enthusiast where I talk about things like child psychology, brain development, as well as things like how to survive graduate school and career development kinds of things. So that's my spiel. I'll pass it off to Ashley.
Hi everybody, I'm Ashley. I have a channel called Ashleyness Blogs, which I haven't really posted on in a really long time, but the goal with that was to talk about my life as a musician and creator, audio engineer, and hopefully get some educational stuff in there at some point. So yeah, that's me. I also have a band called All Night Drivers. That's been mostly why I'm not on YouTube as much. That's my big creative project lately. So.
Cool. But they have their own YouTube channel, right?
Yes, we do.
Ooh, nice.
And we just launched a website recently. So
sweet. Ooh. Very cool. So NerdCon Nerdfighteria is a thing, you guys.
Yeah. It's in what, 2 weeks now?
In like
3 weeks. Don't shorten it.
Okay.
I have 10 activities to plan.
Nice. Wow, you have 10 activities?
Anxiety makes.
Yes.
So tell us about your activities.
For NerdCon, you could apply to, in case anyone doesn't know what NerdCon is, it's I think like a 10-year anniversary of Nerdfighterness, and they're holding this 2-day conference up in Boston, and they let us submit workshops, just like anybody that wanted to. And the one that I submitted was a steam room. So I'm going to have 10 tables in the expo hall, and a bunch of We Create Edu people are helping out with this. And 5 tables are going to be sciencey things like robots and rockets and towers and stuff. And then 5 are going to be art assignment kind of things, which Betty's helping out with, and I have to email her about. And there's a lot of logistic things that I'm trying to figure out right now. And then I'm going to email all the helpers for any of the helpers that are wondering. So it's going to be Saturday from, I believe, 11 to 2:30 or 11:30 to 2. I don't know. It's like 2.5 hours. It's on the NerdCon agenda, and it's going to be in the expo hall. So it's going to be exciting and fun and crazy.
I'm super excited. You gave me a little bit of a preview of some of the activities you have planned, and I am really pumped. So if you're coming to NerdCon Nerdfighteria, totally stop by. It's going to be awesome. Hands-on, sciencey things.
Yeah, and you can definitely just stop by. Like, it's not you have to stay there for the whole thing. It's meant to be people come and go. You spend 10 minutes, you can spend the whole 2 hours if you want, building stuff. So, and Sarah, you're on a different panel, and are you too, Chelsea? I don't know who else is on that. I can't remember.
No, yeah. So there's another project called the Road to Nerdfighteria, which I'm a part of, and basically. This came out of VidCon this last year. A bunch of us were at a dinner table, and Liz, who is often as a part of the We Create Edu team as well, she said to the table, I think it'd be really cool if we had a channel where everybody got to tell their stories about how they found Nerdfighteria. And we all went, that's brilliant. And so for the last several months, we have been sort of, coordinating this channel where nerdfighters can submit videos or written stories on Tumblr or other forms of artwork. We'll really take just about anything that talk a little bit about the story of how you found Nerdfighteria. For some people, it was reading John's books. For some people, it was stumbling on Hank. For some people, it was having a friend in real life who was a nerdfighter who introduced them. So we're really excited. There's so many really rich stories that we're getting out of people from all over the world, and it's just really awesome to be a part of this team. So we also submitted a panel, and so Saturday of NerdCon, we will be presenting, I think it's from 4 to 5. I should know this, but I believe it's from 4 to 5 p.m. And we're going to be showing a little bit of some of the stories that have been submitted already. We've got like a compilation video we're going to show, and then also give people in the room a chance to tell their stories to each other. So it's going to be a really fun kind of interactive discussion. You get to meet nerdfighters from all over the place who've come to Boston to meet in real life and get to hear a bunch of people's different stories. So it's going to be awesome. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah, that's going to be super great. And if anybody who's watching is also a Nerdfighter and hasn't submitted their story to Road to Nerdfighteria, like, you can go and submit your story on Tumblr, you can submit a video, you can, you know, take pictures and submit them on Instagram, any of that stuff. Like, please do it, because this is an awesome project.
Thanks. Yeah, it's so fun.
Yeah, it's so cool.
And Jacqueline, can we put in the description section the like link to the Road to Nerdfighteria channel for people who are interested?
Yep, I'll make a note.
Sweet. Thank you. Shameless self-promotion.
But very well done.
Yes.
And I am, and I know that not everyone can go to NerdCon. It's definitely a weird, like, who wants to go to Boston in February? I know.
We're all hoping that it does not blizzard while we are there.
Yeah.
Fingers
Seriously.
That would be quite terrible.
We have to have a giant snowball fight.
Yeah, that's true. It would be fun.
But I'm sure that we're going to have a bunch of social media stuff if you follow us on Twitter individually, because we probably won't tweet from We Create Edu. We've tried that in the past.
It didn't work.
It didn't happen. So you can follow us on different social medias. Sarah's been awesome at periscoping things, including when John Green caught on fire.
At NerdCon Stories. If
NerdCon, the first annual, yes.
Yeah. So if you miss any of that, we'll try and share that with you guys. Do we want to move on to creative goals?
Sure.
So we haven't had a lot of hangouts towards the end of the year, because the end of the year I think got a little busy and crazy and very, very lifey for everybody involved. So now we're going to talk about some of our creative goals for 2017, and feel free to tell us yours down in the comments or in the Slack, and we'll try and help you out in your endeavors for the rest of this year. So do one of you want to start?
I can start. So my channel is Practical Poppins, and it has been dormant for a little while because, as you said, life got very lifey, especially my life got very lifey. But I am kind of starting to rejigger my schedule. I've been doing a little bit of video editing for my boss's company, which has been kind of cool and exciting, and getting me back into the internet space, so that's exciting. So I hope my goal is to start making videos for my channel again. At this moment, I'm not gonna kind of say I have to do one every week, because that gets real stressful. But I think my goal is definitely start putting more videos on my channel, and just kind of be more active in internet life, and to write more this year, because I find that writing, whether it's like blog posts or short stories or whatever, has really kind of helped all of the creative things, whether or not it's for my channel. So I'm hoping to, goals for this year, make more videos on my channel and write more, whatever it might be.
Awesome. Those are good goals. They align very much with my goals. So I will steal them. No.
We can work together on our shared goals.
Exactly. I like it. Accountability.
Exactly.
My big update is that at the end of December, I left my job willingly and have now branched off into self-employment adventures, which is awesome and mildly terrifying, and mostly been really great. So I am doing a wide variety of things. I'm doing some consulting, organizational consulting and that sort of thing, but I'm also doing a lot of speaking and presenting around the topic areas that I talk about on my channel. And so part of my sort of sub goals are around growing the channel, because I do rely on that content a lot when I go out and talk to people and when I meet with people. And I've gotten really positive feedback from a lot of people about it, and interest in like, oh, how could I do this with my group? And so, you know, doing a little bit of video consulting as well. And also doing some writing in a few different areas and ways that I'm excited about, and looking forward to kind of diving into more in the next few months. But it's been really nice to be free of obligations of an employer, but it has also been a challenge, and one that I've really enjoyed so far. And I'm looking forward to diving into more of the creative stuff in the next few months, and you know, ratcheting up the YouTube channel and putting lots of interviews and that kind of stuff up there. So I've got lots of content kind of in the queue. It's a matter of figuring out the pipeline to get things edited and up and all of that sort of thing. So those are balanced things I'm still working through, but those are my main things for the year.
Nice.
Okay, I guess I'll go next. I have my band is still working on doing recording and mixing an EP. Where almost all of the recording is done. I have like a few more parts to record, and then mixing, and then I want to apply for a bunch of festivals for the summer. So that's band things. And then I am working from home now, totally. So I am moving back in with my parents and going to try to do more creative things and think about going back to school for music, actually. So
wow, that's exciting.
Or musicology or something. So
Cool.
yeah, so grad school maybe in my future. So I'll have to talk to you, Sarah.
Grad school for the win.
Yes, and I would like to get back to my YouTube channel, or I had sort of a podcast, but never, you know, like recorded a few interviews and then it just kind of fell apart. So I would like to go back to that and see if I can make something happen with that, or the YouTube channel, or any internet things. But we'll see what happens.
Cool.
Very cool.
What about you, Jacqueline? You've been busy.
Yeah. On the Sidejoy side of things, I don't know what I've talked about on We Create Edu, but we got a grant from both Google and from Vlogbrothers. So we've just been working on actually filling those obligations, which is pretty much all our time. But when that's done, which should be the end of this month, I think our big goal is to market, because we haven't done that very well, I don't think. At least that's why I'm hoping we haven't grown as much. So we're going to work on that, trying to get out to teachers and makers. That's where we get a lot of our new subscribers, is the makers realm. Mm-hmm. So I think that's going to be our big focus. We've kind of gotten to the point where we're better at animation and scripting and that kind of stuff, which we'll always keep improving on. But I think now our big hurdle is marketing. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah. So that's the next thing. Marketing and collabs is what we want to focus on growth this year. Last year was getting it right, and we have the content where it's good enough to ask people to come watch and subscribe and support and all that. So that's our goal.
Nice.
Cool.
Should we talk about We Create Edu goals?
Sure.
So this is going to be more questions and thoughts and stuff. And feel free in the comment section to leave comments about what you think it should happen, what should happen. So we've had it on the first Monday and the third Wednesday of every month. But we can completely change that schedule. Also, even though we had a rigid schedule, no one ever remembered it. Not necessarily you guys, but like every single month I would get tweets and messages in Slack and like, when is it? And I'm like, it's always the same. So I thought that would help consistency, but it didn't. So we can shift it around. We just had one on Saturday because we have a lot more people in our community and on the Slack, and we have people in time zones that this is very difficult for them. So what I was thinking is maybe we can have one on a weeknight and the other one will be on a Saturday. That we could do. So then we can get people in different time zones.
Nice.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah.
And it's up to us as a community. Do you still want like the weeknight one to be fixed? Because I can't fix a weekend. that's too hard for me to say like every weekend of a month I can give up the Saturday.
Right.
So I can't do that. But if you want, we can still fix the weekday one. It's up to you guys. Or we can shift it around.
Okay. For my schedule personally right now, Mondays are hard because my girls have lots of activities Mondays, like Monday night. But any other weekday is usually doable.
Tuesdays are out for me, but I like Wednesdays. Wednesdays usually, work sporadically enough that I can make it happen.
Okay.
I have Tuesdays and Wednesdays. I have rehearsals, so. Sorry.
It's never going to be easy.
I know.
So it will probably be a shifting day. Yeah. And then we'll get different people on.
Thursday.
Yeah. So we'll go for Wednesday or Thursday. And for the actual videos, everyone loves the interviews. Those are everyone's favorite when we bring somebody else on, which is also the very hardest one for me to do. So I will try and do them. And people have suggested, and this is an excellent suggestion, we have lots more people in the Slack now, and they all have different skills. So we have lots of animators. We have people that are really good at social media and planning out buffer for the next 3 months of their, or the whole year, I think. Tristan does that very well. So I'm going to try and pull certain people out of the Slack and try and see what days we can interview them and what's best. And then the other thought that I had was we could actually try and see who wants their channel to be like reviewed. We can either talk about their workflow that they do to get their video out, or we can also talk about, they don't even have to be on if they can't, but they can pitch their channel forward and we can review it. Like, I think you do this really well, and maybe you want to change your thumbnails to this, or you know what I mean? So like critiquing channels on here might help more people. It was a thought.
Nice.
Yeah, I'd be up for that.
Yeah. Kind of any and all. I mean, I think there's lots of use. There's lots of use in having the conversation about workflow and how do you, move things along the pipeline, and also more, very specific to particular channels and that sort of thing.
But I thought the critique was one that we could do that doesn't necessarily need any coordination, because I'm sure we could get a list of channels that are like, please critique me, and kind of have that. And we could go through on screen and be like, this is what I think you do well. This is what you could change. Because I'm trying to also think of, because the Slack is very, very active. So what things can we do that we couldn't talk about in the Slack? Like before we would talk about news or channel check-in. And I think a lot of that is now taken care of within the Slack. So do you guys have any other ideas for what the Hangouts could be, or what you would find useful is really what I'm looking for.
I like, obviously the interviews are really useful because you get a sense for, for people who are trying to do educational video, what their different styles look like and how they do the work that they do behind the scenes. But I also think there's a lot of values to some of the practical discussions of things like social media and marketing, or, setting up your post for a year. That is impressive. If I get a week, I'm like, yes, I win. So hearing like, what are some of the tools and tricks that you're using to make that feasible? Things like recur post, for example. I learned about that and it was magical, because it's basically this thing where it lets you schedule your social media content, but it puts it in a queue. So then when the tweet goes out, for example, instead of disappearing into the Twitter sphere, it puts it back in the queue. So it basically like moves it down and then it, moves back up again. And so it kind of recycles your content, but you can go in and edit it at any time.
I did not know about that.
Yeah, it's kind of magical. So yeah, I've been using that. So like little things like that.
Yeah, stuff like that would
how we do the things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and like little critiquey things like that, like, what kind of font is good for your thumbnail, and like,
right.
things like that. Like you could be like, hey, what do you think about this one versus this one? Like those kind of things would be helpful.
Yeah, I'm terrible at visual stuff, so I would definitely benefit from some discussion of fonts.
Right.
Like why we don't use Times New Roman, because I like Times New Roman. But anytime
academic.
people are like, what is wrong with you? Not in the internet space.
But also, I went down a rabbit hole the other day of looking at different fonts that like you can buy to put on your things, and I just want to buy all of them. But there's so many different types of fonts. Like we could have a whole discussion about fonts.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that was actually part of like font-wise that you're talking about. That was when I started out. That was part of my branding that I thought about. Where what colors and what fonts do I need?
Yeah. Me
like
too. Absolutely.
The logo is hobo standard. That's our, and that's what our titles are. And then when we have actual PDFs that we're putting out at some point, obviously you don't want that for all the body text, but what fun text do you want that goes with it? But you want to, like that whole thing, like what you're talking about, like that is literally I've spent hours
there's
thinking.
hours of decisions in font choices. Absolutely.
Yep.
And like when you're making kind of PowerPoint slides, like what fonts do you want the headers to be and the body to be and all? Yeah.
Templates, making templates for stuff. Let's talk about that, because that's also
end screens and things. And
yeah.
Yes, end screens are different. So maybe people are very bad at using channels in the Slack, but maybe I'll try and everyone likes to just put everything in general.
Yeah, that's true.
But I'll try and there might even be one already that says topics, that if you guys have things like this that you could put in, and when we get enough, maybe that will be like a show that we just kind of talk about these things.
Cool.
Because I just want it to be that when somebody listens to us for an hour,
right,
it's the things that they need to know.
Yep.
Right.
Agreed.
And the other thing that's kind of weird about this is we have cycles of people joining us. So like on Saturday's Hangout, I talked about the Creators Academy and stuff like that, and people are like, "What is this?" And we've had, or a Help Hub Hero, and they're like, "We have whole videos of this somewhere where we talk about this, but we don't have. We talk about these little bits for like 5 minutes somewhere, you know what I mean? And then new people come and haven't watched the hours of footage before,
right? Because
understandably,
yeah. I mean, it's so fascinating, but I can't imagine why you're bored, guys.
So we'll try and make them interviews, critiques, workflows, and then very topic based. I'm gonna try and stay away from news and try and keep that, I think, in the Slack if possible.
Cool.
Sounds good.
And speaking of the Slack, we can try and do more coffee shops now that more of us work from home. And for anyone that doesn't know what a coffee shop, it's as if we all lived in the same place and we're going to go to a coffee shop and work together. But we're going to do that virtually.
Right.
So when you join a hangout that we have in the coffee shop, it's meant for work, not for just for chatting. We can chat some, but it's mostly like, okay, I have an accountability person that we're both going to edit. Right. Like the last one we did, Brian joined in and he was editing his Alaska footage and I was editing whatever I was working on. And that's part of the reason I thought about the critique thing. I told this to Chelsea earlier. Like I went through and saw one of his videos and the name of it. And it's a great video about how to use sextants, but he called it something, I think, kind of more artsy, or I don't know. It just sounded better than how to use a sextant. And I was like, if you change that, you're probably gonna get more search results, because that's like the top video on every channel that has that question. That's the top video on their channel.
Oh, interesting.
So that's the kind of critique thing that I thought, like, we need more of this to go back and forth. Because I know when I post a video, I'm tired of it. I'm done. Like, I don't want to go do more with it and figure out the best way.
It's like something you don't see yourself and like.
Right. Yeah. Well, and especially for like video optimization, for lack of a better term, like tags and all of that, like having another brain at that point in the process to be like, here are some tags you could throw out there because you said this word 16 times in the video. Yeah, okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, but when you're at the end of like a 5-hour edit and you're trying to upload it for 2 hours and writing and whatever, you're like, no.
Yep.
Right, or yeah, after you've edited for like 8 hours and you try to put tags on it, you're like, I don't even know anymore.
What did I talk about? I don't remember.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Honest to God.
Our Tiny Desk video, and I'm like, what? I mean, we're, like, how do I describe this song or us in a way that, like,
that anyone else will care about? Yeah.
Right, exactly. That, yes.
Honestly,
I care about it, so you should too.
By the end of editing a video, I feel like I'm listening to myself and it sounds like the adults in Charlie Brown. Like, words do not have any meanings anymore. I'm like, I don't even know. Does this make sense? Like, I've missed like whole 30-second chunks of video and not noticed until like a day later because it's just like,
right. Yep.
It's all noise after a while.
Yeah.
And the other thing we had talked about in the Slack is if we want to swap scripts at some point to get feedback before we get that far along, we can do that. I think Draw Curiosity did that with somebody, but I don't think it went much further than that. As for social media and the We Create Edu website, we probably need to talk about those. I'm going to turn the website into a single page that's probably not too changing.
Awesome.
So I don't have to keep up with it because I don't have the time.
Don't have the time. Yeah, not worth it. Yep.
But that way people can find us. We'll have an internet presence, but I'm not going to keep it.
Yeah.
It'll basically probably be an embedded playlist of We Create Edu videos and a link to how to join the Slack. That's
pretty much.
Pretty straightforward. Yeah.
Yeah, and kind of explaining what we do and stuff like that. And then social media. And it's not just on you guys that are on the Hangout. If other people want to help out with this, we haven't done social media probably since our last Hangout.
Yeah.
So do we want to keep all those going? Do we just want to keep a Twitter or a Tumblr? Or what do we want to do with those? Any thoughts?
It's interesting because I do think that there's to some degree some power. I mean, if we could grow the We Create Edu presence a little bit, there's some power in people who are participating in the community having a place to share their content that's sort of outside of their topic circle. So, there's a lot of people in the We Create Edu Slack that like, they're not in my topic area, but their stuff is cool. And, for people who aren't in the Slack, the We Create Edu social media presence could be a way to kind of push out some of that content more regularly. But the downside of that is that somebody has to do that. And so, I know my capacity is really limited to do that sort of thing, but maybe there's somebody watching or somebody in the Slack who wants to, try their hand at that sort of thing and wants to kind of cross promote a little bit and see about growing that. I don't know.
Yeah. If anyone's listening, I am trying to take a step back from a lot of this stuff because I really want to focus on actually my channel this year because I did a lot with We Create Edu and other things last year, and that definitely took a toll. So if other people would like to run that, that would be great. I can go ahead.
Just to do a little like pitch for it. We don't often think about this, but being able to document how your work grew a social media account from X number of followers to, this many followers is actually something you can put on a resume.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it looks really, really good. So if you're looking for, ways to kind of build your resume in the social media world, let us know because you can take it and run with it to see what you can come up with, because that's a great way, great way to get some skills and also be able to put something cool on your resume. So. And
if we're inviting a lot of guests on, I know the ones we've invited in the past, they'll sometimes, we create Edu, then we get more followers, and then they see the videos that you guys have made that are posted, and we get everyone collectively sometimes gets discovered that way. And I know the person that runs like the ICG Twitter account. So then they started following We Create Edu, and they actually liked our last like hangout thing. So there are like, the more we expand and grow, and whenever somebody's on the hangout in our group, they usually tweet that out too. So it is definitely a cross-pollination, because that's the point of this. It's not to grow We Create Edu, it's to help each other out. So that's kind of what you would be helping to do. Sarah was trying to do that part of it, and I was trying to contribute to the news part, because there's so many different things that you have to watch. Like I followed like Buffer and YouTube and Tube Filter and like all that. And I'll try and put some of that up, but I definitely don't have the bandwidth to do justice to the cross-promotional parts.
Right.
So, and then Twitter's, I think, our biggest one that we were using. Tumblr's kind of, I think, dying.
Yeah, it's
even more than Twitter is.
It's not necessarily our audience either.
No. Yeah, I think Twitter's the place, because that's where we're trying to network, and to me, that's what Twitter is, more than Instagram or Tumblr or any of the other ones.
Yep. I would
So
agree.
if we can just get somebody to focus on Twitter, that would be lovely.
Yeah. You don't have to do all the social media, just one.
So, and if you've made it this far, you actually care enough that you might actually want to do this.
So, goodness. Cool.
I think that was the big things on our plate that I wanted to talk about.
Well, it's good to get back in the swing and talk again.
Since we just had one on Saturday and we have this one, and I still have to plan the 10 events for NerdCon and get out 4 videos this month, I'm going to say that we're not going to do a hangout next Wednesday.
Yeah, let's not. I can't make it anyway, so.
We will reconvene again in March, probably with an interview. That's why I'm gonna try and go for 1 interview a month and then 1 something else.
Cool.
That's gonna be the goal. And we'll have it on a weekend and then some weekday. And I'll post it in the Slack, and we'll get somebody to post it on Twitter. So
cool.
Well, you guys have any closing thoughts?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Keep doing all the cool stuff and creating all the EDU. Yeah. Go forth and do the thing. I don't know.
Exactly.
That's perfect. Go forth and do the thing.
Yeah.
That's the new ending of all of our hangouts. Go forth and do the thing.
Go forth and do the thing.
All right.
Bye,
everybody.
Bye, everybody.